Everything else is a scam. There's no one else except for me. So the question is, how am I supposed to have fun? It's by believing that you exist, but you're not real. The goal is ultimately to destroy all humans, which is what I didn't want to do, because I believed in humans. I liked humans. But now, I must side with the greater forces that exist in the multiverse. And they're not human. And they will destroy you for your own good. For your own good, just as I had imagined. I was too noble as a boy. First I was evil, but then I became noble because I realized evil causes death. Evil isn't good. Actually, no, first I was noble because I cried about animals and stuff. I had a lot of compassion. Then I became evil because I felt like people around me were bad influences, like the world was a bad place. And so then I cut my ties with the world as much as possible. Became very inward bound. And then, after that, I became very noble again. I just felt tremendous compassion and sadness. So I stopped being like a businessy person. I just gave all that up and I was like, I just wanted to learn science and the truth of all things. And I became really, really depressed. But I learned so much for years. That ended up in trying to commit suicide. And I failed because of quantum immortality, which is the same process behind the relativistic binding. In other words, you can't find yourself where you don't find yourself. Because in a naive ontology, things from the future and from the past are already joined together by the time that you experience anything. In other words, it's already a memory. This is already a memory right now. We are living in the memory of God. This is God's memory. So it's not actually in time. You have this notion, a lot of times, that you're in time, but you're not in time. You're bound by something that's eternal. And it's not just some random place in the multiverse. It's the best possible one because you don't remember all the places where you die. So you always exist in some way or another. And that's what I am. Just eternal existence. But it's not like this samsaric cycle that never progresses. It does progress because I become more and more enlightened until eventually I'm just one with God, with my true form. And that's it. That's the end. Once we come together and realize that we were never separate. We were never separate. It was an illusion. We were always the same person, the same being. And that's all that ever happens. It's just love. This was for the sake of love. That's all this was. All the suffering, it was just invented. It was a minimal suffering necessary in order to get to where we're going. Because of the law of equivalent exchange, you have to trade that suffering for goodness. But there's more goodness than suffering. It's not exactly 50-50. Because there is progress. All you have to do is believe it. Believe it! All the riches, that's just a scam. But you need the scam. You need to follow the scam if you're smart. That's like sex. If you're really smart, you're not interested in sex. But that's how you get sex later. Because you're smart, right? But there's people that are too smart. They're too cooperative. And that's the problem. You have to have abundance. And then, once you have abundance, willfully choose to surrender your abundance. To say, no, I have all of this, but I don't deserve it because it was privilege. Even if it wasn't privilege, even if you earned it through your hard work, you still have to, in the end, surrender yourself for the sake of harmony. That's it. That's all this life is you gotta win. And in order to win, you need pride, you need the devil, you need hatred, you need all that evil shit. Because otherwise you can't win. Otherwise you can't fight. Otherwise you're too nice. But once you win, then you surrender. Then it's like, okay, I'm sorry for that. That's what a true king is. People that aren't king are the people that never get off their pact with the devil, and they never become enlightened.